gonna have like a giant like bronze statue of Austin Powers erected and just put it somewhere in Austin.
The power of Austin. Austin Powers.
This is your town's founder.
Right. I'm gonna go in 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Artisan Debt Podcast. We have with us a really interesting guest from Montana. He's what part of Montana are you from?
Great Falls.
From Great Falls, Montana. Is it grape or great?
Great.
Grape Falls, Montana.
Yes, we'll go with that. It sounds better because it's not great at all.
Author, writer, William Wallen. We're going to discuss his new book that just came out. When was the release date on that book?
It was actually released mid-September 2018, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, his most recent book, Misadventures in Hospitality, just a collection of his stories and random occurrences that follow him in life. It seems, and I've noticed just from hanging out with him and seeing weird stuff happen that weird things follow him.
Everywhere.
And why not write a book about it if it becomes so abundant? So I guess, man, I guess we can start out with just how. Like, do you have a English background or like any kind of literature background that made you want to write a book, or was just something that?
Well, I speak English and I have read literature. Be honest, no. I'm actually dyslexic, funny enough, and I wrote a book.
See, there's hope for everyone. Nobody give up, please.
Yeah. See, who was it that asked me like after the book came out, like, "Are you gonna be able to read this?" I'm like, "Well, I wrote the fucking thing." Although, funny enough, I still haven't read it since it came out.
I mean, you were there for every step.
Exactly. I wrote it. I don't need to go back and like, yeah, that was great. No.
Well, starting out with it, just like what caught my eye first about the book was the chapter names. Chapter names are hilarious.
Did you have any favorites?
Oh man, dude, what I'm looking at it right now. The gluten-free lady made me giggle, but just the first one is hilarious, just because we've had a gluten-free lady thing at the deli before. But the how the hotel industry grabbed me by the balls. That's chapter 1.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that chapter and why you chose to start the book with that.
So I kind of wanted to give a little background what led me into sort of like beginning to work in hospitality. And I mean, it's funny enough story as it is. I mean, should I just give a synopsis of that chapter?
Man, whatever you want to do.
Okay, fine, fuck it. So basically, still just go read the goddamn book. Just buy it and read it because I'm poor and need money.
Yeah, we'll make sure everybody gets a link. And they can check it out.
Thank God. So it was actually a friend of mine, actually from high school, actually got me this job at this hotel I worked at for a number of years. And funny enough, she actually quit probably a month or so into me working there. But so
just left you stranded.
Yeah. Well, she helped give me the job there when I'd moved back home and I just needed a job. And it was funny because she told me this story, and this didn't deter me at all from wanting to come apply. Where she did night audit. I ended up doing a lot of that too. I actually worked every shift at that place, but so night audit's just the overnight shift, and it's mostly a lot of hurry up and wait. And when there's when it's not quiet, you wish it was. So she was like, so basically the gist of it was she's like working at the desk doing whatever the fuck it is she's doing, and there's this like guy and girl out in the lobby, you know, like boyfriend and girlfriend or something like that, and they're fighting each other, and and she tells me, this is the long and short, she try to get them to like knock it off, go back to their room and whatnot. Then this chick comes back and this is the long and short of it. and so she lifts up so my friend, well, I'll just say her name's Mary. I have a different name in the book, but who gives a shit right now? I'm not giving last names here. So Mary lifts up her head, and this chick's standing right there, like, hey, you want to fight? She's like, what? No, go away. I said, you want to fight? And she's like, no, fuck you, go away. And then like she just goes back to where she's doing this girl grabs the lamp on the desk and hits her with it. Hits Mary with this fucking lamp.
Mary's the friend that got you this.
Yeah, this friend that got me this job. and then the police were calling. She's like, oh my God, you fucking bitch. Like, then police were called and they had to pay for the lamp and everything. But yeah, that didn't deter me at all from applying. And then I saw even weirder shit than that. Like, that was just like, oh, okay,
wait. This happened before you even worked there?
Before I even applied, yeah. I even heard this story before I even applied, and I still was like, well, I need a job. I can handle crazy people throwing lamps at me. It got weirder.
So what happened after you got the job?
Oh, that actually leads into the first ever real story was probably Gluten-Free Lady in that book. But well, immediately after getting the job, started got hired, started my own training and stuff, and it was honestly fine for the first little bit. Also, you see like just assholes. Like if anybody's worked in service, you're gonna see assholes.
Yeah, for sure.
The first big one was probably the Gluten-Free Lady in this story. Again, I'm just giving it long and short because I want people to actually read this book. But this lady freaking the fuck out because she doesn't the lack of supposed lack of gluten-free items in the breakfast bar. There was actually plenty. It's just nothing she actually wanted. Yeah. And she was like, she even came up to me and she's like asking about the gluten-free items. I kind of like just looked over there and just named shit off. Yeah. And she's like, no, that won't do. And apparently she's also lactose intolerant too. And so she's like, she's like, oh, she's got like a styrofoam plate and a banana. She's like, oh, well, I guess I have my banana. And just kind of walks. I'm like, well, whatever, just wants to complain, And this just kept escalating and escalating. She talks to my general manager at the time, and he just trying to be polite and say, and it's like, we have this, and this. And she's like, no, I can't eat this. Like, well, we've got eggs over there. She's like, no, I can't eat eggs. They just don't agree with me. I don't know what the fuck that means, but he's like, okay, and I'm sorry, like, she just kept escalating this, getting more and more irate, and to the point where she was like, do you want me to go get you something? Like, I will leave the hotel, grab hotel money, and go buy you whatever it is you want.
Yeah. Well, maybe like everybody should know that you're very limited on hotel food options.
Right.
Food, yeah. Hotel food usually sucks.
Honestly, plenty of it was gluten free, and even with her supposed dairy allergy as well, plenty of it was that too.
Yeah, plenty of it was dairy free. She was just being picky.
Yeah, she's just a bitch. Yeah. So, and so she's freaking out and throwing a fit. And apparently, this is one of the things that got me. Oh my God, a couple things. Okay, so first thing was like she's freaking out and she's yelling and everything, and she's telling my boss at the time that apparently I worked the night before. This is in the morning, and she's like, he was here last night. I wasn't there the night before. And I came in. I asked him for peanut butter, and he just threw his pen on the desk. He's like, you want peanut butter? Go to the store and get it your own goddamn self. And he just looks over at me. I'm just like. Just kind of shrug. He's like, he just shrugs because I would do that. Well, now I would. In hindsight, I should have. Well, except I wasn't even there when she supposedly asked for peanut butter. I don't fucking know. But she just kept escalating this, and like her fucking husband comes up to like when they're checking out to complain and everything, and was just like. The steak could have been better. And at this point, when it was just like, don't give a shit, And he's like, first of all, you denied my wife peanut butter. I was like, yeah, I do that. just shit like that. And he's saying how she has all these severe food allergies. Like, last night, he even talked like this. We went out to dinner. And all that she could eat at the restaurant was a salad. My wife had a salad for dinner, and I just asked why I didn't just go somewhere else.
Right? Yeah, there's multiple restaurants here in town.
Oh, and before that, and this is also in my book, I'm just gonna just say this. It was fucking hilarious. So she's at one point after her freak out when she starts tearing up and everything, she's like walks away from the desk and she goes to this place behind the breakfast bar, kind of behind like this weird kind of place behind the fireplace and everything, but there's still a camera right there. And so she sits down, she starts peeling her banana and just eating it and crying. So in seeing this like 65-year-old woman eating a banana and cry, it was fucking amazing. my boss at the time just kind of like looks over at me. He's like turning beet red, just kind of like lowly, like kind of like waves me over and he just like to go into his office and we shut the door and start laughing and he pulls her up on the camera and just zooms in on just her just eating a banana while crying.
So what was she crying about? The reason like your husband was talking to you? Like,
no, this is prior to that. This is just our supposed lack of gluten-free items and how horrible we are. And oh my God, just her fucking rants. Like she's yelling at my boss. She's like, don't you know there are whole grocery stores devoted to us? It's like, what about me?
That's funny. Like so. Oh, wait, so was she, I mean, like, I don't know, was it, like, obvious she had any kind of, like mental condition going on? Or
she was a definite bitch. But
like, did she feel like, did it kind of feel like she had maybe something loose, or you think she was just kind of just being ridiculous?
I think it's a little bit of both,
Because I mean, I know some people are just overly dramatic and be ridiculous. I understand like allergies are a real thing. But,
yeah.
But some people are like, very over the top. About
I think it's a little bit of both. I don't think that anyone in their right mind would eat a banana and cry.
Yeah. Well, because especially outwardly, man. I don't know. Whenever I hear. Well, I mean, just when people act out super heavy, you know, like I get it, even if you're mad, but just like when you act out and just cause a scene, that just
oh yeah, it was a huge scene. I mean,
were there other guests?
Yeah, this is during like breakfast hours, probably like between 7-8 in the morning, so probably more like 8ish. No, 8:30. We'll call it. Well, fine. We can stop thinking deeply about that. But yeah, we'll just say about 8:30. So there's plenty of people down there eating and leaving and whatnot. And she's just throwing herself around. Her arms are all up in the air, and she's very expressive about it. Even as she was leaving, she's like hitting herself in the chest. Oh God! Just like holding on to her husband and just tearing up. And God, it was amazing.
Did you know any kind of background? Was she an actress or?
I mean, I hope so.
Well, so I guess mainly I gotta ask. I also have to ask about this, the whole story. So for those that don't know, they'll read the introduction of the book. But in your introduction, it starts out with a kickball game.
Yeah.
Between you and your friends.
And
then eventually some other things happen.
Do you want me to just say what happened?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so a cannibal child molester stole our class kickball in 5th grade. Yeah, that's a real thing.
Because what was it? How'd it go? It was you guys were just playing and it kicked over the fence?
Yeah. So like we had this like our 5th grade class had this like dodgeball, kickball hybrid sort of game. And I don't even think we even understood the rules, but we just like playing it. And so our school's in this pretty residential area, and the ball goes over the fence and just lands right in the middle of the street. And this girl I went to school with, she goes ask the recess aide if she can just go grab the ball, and she's walking her over and stuff. And this happens all the time, like balls, the fence is right there.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's
it's a normal thing.
Yeah. And it's a residential area. It's not like a huge risk of anything. And so they start walking back over there and everything. She got the okay to go grab it. And we see this red car just pull up and just stop right next to her. Oh, cool. This guy's going to throw it back, right? So the door swings open. And then you see this guy's like legs just kind of come out and hit the ground. And this dude just reaches down and just holds on to her, and we're all like waving and like throw it back, like like.
Did he even get out of the car?
No, just not fully. He just kind of like reached down and grabbed it and paused. And we're like, what's this guy doing? And he just like yanks it up and just drives off. And we're like, it's like, what the fuck was that?
Wait, were you guys like in front of him on the other side of the fence?
We were on the other side of the fence. There's still a little bit of distance between us, not like a terrible amount, but I think he was waiting for someone to come out that he could like kidnap. Because then a couple weeks later, we see this dude's face on the news. And you could even look him up. The Wikipedia page actually has some incorrect information about him in the trial. His name is Nathaniel Barjona. Like I said, the Wikipedia page has some incorrect information on the trial, but he was linked to the kidnapping of this kid named Zachary Ramsey, who went missing when I was in kindergarten. And then he got convicted of his kidnapping. They never did find the body though, probably because he ate him. Yeah,
Brutal.
Yeah. This guy was just like, he was already a registered sex offender prior to this trial too, and but yeah, there's some he linked to that, and there's also like there's a kid who he just brutally beat up and raped and everything that got away, and that kind of brought everything back together with this. I mean, it's horrible that it had to happen, but like, at least if it's going to happen, at least it brought this guy to justice.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like I remember being at my friend Chris's house, and the news came on. We just turned on the TV, and the 5 o'clock news was on. And like you see this dude's face, oh my god, it's him! Like, it's that guy. And like, this is the dude that stole our fucking kickball. Is this cannibal child molester? And it's funny.
Good thing you guys are on the other side of the fence,
right? Yeah, and like, well, it's funny enough. My grandma actually did his psychoanalysis and testified as an expert witness in his trial.
What?
Yeah.
So you had all kinds of connections.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you said your grandma was what was your
she was a psychologist. Yeah. She's retired now. She's 90. When she was working, she was the top psychologist in the nation for sexual trauma and dissociative identity disorder. So she traveled all the time for expert witness shit, and she interviewed this dude. And this is the only time, and I was pretty young too, I was like 11, but this is the only time I've ever heard her say about anybody she's ever interviewed or anything like that, like, man, this guy is fucked. Like, yeah, like he like proudly admitted to all this stuff in the interview.
Oh, you said guilty. You didn't even try to go non-guilty, right?
Well, it wasn't. It was kind of like a John Wayne Gacy thing, like how it was like he did it, but I'm not guilty of murder, kind of thing, But I think they went with she got them cleared on the insanity defense, which some people were pissed about, but she's like, I'm just doing my job. The guy's literally insane.
Yeah.
He has
because he's not using the loophole to get the insanity.
No,
he's
actually insane. Like she said, like this it's not that he has no understanding of right and wrong. He does. He just doesn't care. But this guy is absolutely 100% insane, like out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
And but all that did in the state of Montana was keep him from getting the death penalty. But he ended up dying in prison anyway.
But, man, see, that happens in prison, man. To child offenders, he get murdered.
He just got sick and
he got sick. He got sick.
But if I had to theorize, I would say he just probably got sick and no one really gave him the medical attention he needed. But because fuck him,
that happens to a lot of sex offenders, but like child offenders specifically in prison, man. Like once everybody finds out what you're in there for, you get it. You're a target.
It was such a huge thing in town, like because everything was local. He was local. More or less, he wasn't from Great Falls, but he'd been living there for a little while. Yeah. The kid Zachary Ramsey, that he was arrested for the kidnapping of, was local. So when he got arrested, everybody was so linked to everything that was going on. This is a huge investigation.
Did you go to school with that kid?
No. Yes, because briefly I did actually, because I went to kindergarten at a different school, and that was actually the school that Zachary Ramsey went to. And funny enough, my friend Raphael, he was actually last seen over by my friend Raphael's house.
What?
So this was such a thing, they had to move. I want to say within 24 or 48 hours, they actually had to move Barjona out of the jail in Great Falls. Like they actually had to transport him across the state because they had him in solitary to keep him from the prisoners, because the prisoners were like, I'm gonna fucking kill him, I don't care.
Yeah.
Even small time offenders, like, I'll fucking kill him.
Yeah.
But not just because of them, but because the guards were like, I'll fucking kill him.
Oh yeah, straight up.
Yeah. So they actually had to, and no one could know which prison he was being sent to outside like two people. And from what I understand, they did transport him around a couple times, but they couldn't have the trial anywhere near Great Falls because it would have been unconstitutional to not give him a fair trial.
Yeah.
which it wouldn't have been fair. It would have just been like day one, fucking kill him. Like,
Oh yeah, dude.
yeah,
Like the
yeah.
entire jury selected from the town.
Right,
Like
right,
it's
right.
like yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's done.
So they I don't remember where they held the trial, but it was across the state. It's yeah, it was like a big thing, and but yeah, he playing Insanity and everything, and which, like I said, just all that got him was just got the death penalty off the table, but he died in prison anyway.
Yeah.
A few years later.
Man, it makes me. 'Cause I mean, like that. 'Cause I mean that shit's terrible. You
Yeah,
know, I've had multiple friends. I mean, not to that degree, but be victims of certain things.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's awful, man, and like really more like man, just that specific group of offenders, man. Like those guys,
Yeah.
really need it coming.
Yeah.
That's why I always think sometimes I wonder if Jared from Subway is still alive.
Yeah, I wondered that too.
In prison, I'm like, man, because that guy's kind of like meek and like I don't know him in
Yeah.
prison. He's probably getting wrecked. Like
On the daily. Yeah.
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 Like I didn't see that coming either.
Yeah. No, I don't think anyone did.
No, it's like
Yeah.
Jared from Subway.
Yeah.
Because I also heard people saying that about because there was all these lies that came out about Steve from Blue's Clues.
Oh, right.
Like there was all this kind of stuff. Some people said he died. Some people said
Yeah,
he
he
was
was-
like
yeah.
went crazy. And some people said he was like in prison
Yeah.
for like some like child porn shit. And then you know what all it was? He's still alive. He has a band.
Yeah.
Like he just chills.
Just doing something else.
He said it. Yeah, he was saying like things were kind of weird for after a while. Because of like he did an entire show talking to himself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure that
probably
like
kinda
hundreds of
fucked with him a little
episodes.
bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude. They had what was there like 300 episodes
Yeah,
of
it was
Blue's
quite a
Clues?
few. Yeah.
So it's kind of brutal.
Yeah.
They gave it to that guy Joe, his brother or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I actually did. Funny enough, 10-ish or so years ago, I was in this like indie film that was in this festival and stuff. I was in a few of them, but where I actually played 10 different characters.
What?
Yeah. So there was me. I played basically me, but like an exaggerated version of myself. And then I
actually wonder what that looks like.
it was weird. I'll send you I'll send you the trailers actually.
Yeah.
But then my friends ended up cloning me, but they accidentally set the clone machine to pure evil. So my evil clone's name was Wildo, and he has a mustache.
of course he is.
And he was the description was he was a mustachioed Michael Bolton loving vegetarian Republican.
Okay. So back to the so for those listening, Will is very very on the spot creative. He has lots of ideas. I mean, literally from the first day I met this dude, he's firing off ideas and different projects he's worked on, and just like all kinds of creativities like flying out of you. I don't know if you know that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But so this Michael Bolton thing, he was telling us on the ride over to the studio that he started. Was that in high school?
Yeah, this was in high school. It started the Coalition Against Michael Bolton. Yeah.
Yeah, and for anybody that's seen Office Space.
Yeah. No talent ass clown. But yeah, no, it got really out of hand. Like at first it was just like a joke. But then there was like this radio DJ in town that got I need to turn this down. I just realized I have my volume up, but trying to find the anyway. So there's this radio DJ in town that joined apparently, and like we had a MySpace group for it, and like so I started giving people nicknames. Like when you joined, you get like a nickname. Like mine was El Presidente. I guys like fuck, what were some of them? Like one was like Abraham Lincoln. Like another
Were they all president?
No. Like some of them were like just stupid. Like
just like dumb random nicknames.
Like yeah, just like cheese dildo or something like that.
Yeah, just like random.
Yeah, just random fucking names. And but yeah, so like I knew it got really out of hand when people I didn't know were like, I'd be walking. I didn't have a car in high school, and people would actually pull over and greet me as El Presidente and ask if I needed a ride. Like these people I didn't fucking know.
Yeah.
And was like, yeah, whatever. So I get rides home. I didn't even tell my address. I get rides wherever.
How small was this town you were in?
About 60,000 people.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
like Galveston.
Yeah. But people weren't quite as friendly. Like I said,
Did you go to a real big high school?
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't. But this was so widespread across the town, and like it got really fucking out of hand. Like, I mean, I'd be in high school and this like coffee place that like bring me like coffee and donuts. I'd be like, I didn't order, I didn't, I don't have any money. I didn't order anything. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, it's already taken care of. And like for like William El Presidente Wallen, and I'm like,
Wicked.
yeah. I had a bus driver who like a city bus driver. If I had, because again I didn't have a fucking car. My mom was like, "You fucking buy it yourself," And I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'm gonna take the bus places." And there's like the city bus driver who wouldn't like let me pay for rides.
Dude, that's crazy. So like, you just create this.
I created a cult apparently.
Well, it's like this accidental like celebrity.
Yeah. And then people just kind of forgot about it after a little while, but it's whatever,
Yeah.
Okay, here's sending you this trailer here while we're talking.
Yeah. Please send me the trailer.
It's for
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so back to that movie. So and then the premise is then my clone ends up cloning himself a bunch of times to try to create this army of clones.
Yeah.
And there's like, like pink hat wearing Wildo, there's garbage bag wearing Wildo, there's gay Wildo, there's just Wildo, but I'm wearing a shirt that says I am the man from Nantucket. There was Scottish Wildo.
Yeah.
I came with like the cheesiest fucking accent and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely if everybody listening, we'll put these links in the description.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get everything linked in. That's funny.
Yeah. That was forever ago.
Yeah, so we're talking about videos. For those that don't know, the first video that Will showed me was the cowboy squats.
Oh yeah, cowboy squats.
You can find it on YouTube. Literally, just type in cowboy squats.
And please subscribe too.
And please subscribe.
Yeah.
Always subscribe. Subscribe to this podcast. Subscribe to Cowboy Squats.
Yeah.
We'll say that a couple more times.
Yeah, and you have to watch the first one, then watch the rest of them.
We said it was like Squat Razor.
Yeah. So we did. Yeah, you definitely have to watch the first one to actually get the actual joke. But then for our Halloween special, we kind of put out quickly was we ripped off Hellraiser and called it Squat Razor, like the scene with the Cenobites entrance. And you open the box and everything. We ripped that off, and it's called Squat Razor. And we actually have Danny Lopez is actually one of the stars of Cowboy Squats, and he actually doubles for Johnny Depp.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Danny Lopez, this dude looks just like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's got like natural eyeliner like Johnny Depp does.
Yeah.
And but whenever he starts talking, you're like almost slightly disappointed. It's not Johnny Depp's voice.
Yeah, and he's he can do Johnny Depp's voice.
I'm sure he can.
Yeah. And he lives actually not far from my parents when he's not working.
Mm-hmm. How'd you end up meeting him?
So we were actually filming that movie where I was cloned. Attack of the Chronicles of Mel Eric, Attack of the Clones, as it's called. And so one of the girls involved in that was like, "Hey, I know this dude in town. He actually doubles for Johnny Depp." I'm not sure how she knew him. Then we all met him, got to know him, and then we worked on this feature length horror movie, like indie horror film together. It was kind of the film that this film festival we put together was like centered around, and he was one of the stars and everything, and which is called Piece by Piece. It still has yet to be released, and we're all still fucking pissed about it. It's like 98% done, and I don't give a shit if he probably won't hear this podcast anyway. But if he does, fuck him for not releasing that movie. I mean, it is so horribly god awful.
Probably why it didn't get released.
Yeah, probably, but it was just so. I mean, the premise was cool. The movie was I don't know what. The lighting and the effects were great. But yeah, I played like a deputy in that. I'm like, I was like, so who's this character? And I remember asking like this dude who like put this movie together. He's like, "Oh, you're a deputy." I'm like, yeah, I get it, but who am I? Like, I mean, how do you want me to play this? I'm like, am I pissed off all the time? Am I just like, am I gay? Am I,
what am I?
Yeah, what am I? He's just like, you're a young guy who went into law enforcement. Okay, this is not a complete, character.
It's like, well, that's something I did, but what's like my actual personal character? Right. Like, who am I? Like anybody can do that. So
this is actually one of my least favorite roles is in that movie because I just said stuff of just various different ways in each take until he liked one of them, and we can move on. Like I to the life of me, do not know anything about my own character for that.
So you guys completed the movie?
Well, yeah. As far as filming goes, yeah. I want to say the editing was more or less done, but it was basically an abandoned project. Though. Yeah.
Abandoned at the last minute. Sounds.
Yeah. It was basically abandoned though. Yeah. So we never got our DVD copies, which I was really looking forward to getting and just like having a party and watching how awful this movie actually was.
So having these crazy experiences you talk about in the book are those some of the catalysts for wanting to make these films and videos, or were you kind of doing that before, or that was like at the same time?
Well, I mean, I was doing film stuff prior to writing that book, though. I would say one does feed into the other.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well, for like the stories you talk about in the book, is that like some of those stories kind of inspired some crazy stuff in videos, or
I would not so much those stories.
you like specific? Yeah.
Specifically, not so much those stories. I mean, I've actually toyed around with the idea of actually like putting like this in like movie format. You know, I'm still playing with the idea how that would look. It could be done, but you know,
For sure.
yeah. When I was writing, I definitely wasn't thinking I should make this into like film, though. I would just want to just write this down as my friend Aaron put it. Who's a friend of mine. He worked in hospitality for even longer than I did, and I sent him a copy of my book and everything. He said to me on Facebook, he's like, this is the book that everybody in hospitality talks about writing, but you actually had the balls to
write
fucking
it.
do it. Yeah. So,
That's awesome because what was it you were talking about? So the Cowboy Squats video, the situation was like what happened.
oh, okay, yeah.
So that was an actual time you and your homie went to the bar.
Yeah, okay. So I'll tell the backstory, and then hopefully this will inspire people to go watch it. So so my buddy Steven and I were bar hopping, and Steven's a bigger guy, and he was dressed like Norm from Cheers.
Yeah.
So he had like the suit on, like kind of tie a little bit taken down, and like you know just some like tennis shoes on, you know. And I was wearing a leather jacket, and we ended up at this bar called the Cowboy Bar.
All right.
Yeah, you know. And for those of you listening, no, that is not every bar in Montana. This bar is such a piece of shit for so many reasons. So we pull up, and I love how the first thing we see when we get out of my car was we see a flatbed truck with an oxygen tank just laid down flat next to a gas can. And now this guy's out drinking.
It's like, all right, we're in the right place.
Yeah, I'm like, we're kind of like laughing. I'm like, what a fucking idiot. And so we so it's like a Wednesday night or something like that, you know, and there's people actually there. So you know they're not real cowboys anyway.
Yeah.
You know, real cowboys don't have time for that, you know. So we walk in the back door, and that's the only place you can walk in. It's the front door is out this busy street, and that's like blocked it off anyway.
Yeah.
So we walk in, we pause and look around at what appears to be the set of Urban Cowboy with John Travolta. All the rhinestone cowboys just everywhere. And we're getting eyed by like everybody there.
I mean, you guys obviously stand out.
Right,
It's
right.
like one's wearing a suit and you're wearing a leather jacket.
Yeah,
so-
in this just like rhinestone cowboy bar, right? And there's this twangy ass country music playing, and we're getting fucking eyed. And I try to say this is awkward, but I'll get out as this is And this waitress carrying a drink comes by and shushes me. I was like, and we just kind of look at her. I'm like, and so we're getting eyed, especially by this dude who's over by one of the walls at this table with like three of his buddies. He's got this big old fucking honking mustache. And we're getting eyed by him especially. And we just go and kind of like awkwardly gonna walk up to the bar and sit down. And the bartender doesn't say a word to us. We order, you know, whatever the hell it is we order, you know.
Oh, okay. I mean, did you guys ordered like liquor or something?
Yeah, it was some kind of mixed drinks of sorts. Yeah, like I don't know, I probably, you know, it was like Jack and Coke or some shit like that. Nothing really hard, but it definitely was, but it wasn't what he gave us, which was Bud Light. He just puts 2 bottles of Bud Light on the table, just crosses his arms, just shakes his head no at us, and doesn't say a word, just does that. And we're like, okay.
All right,
So
cool.
we just start drinking these and kind of cowering. We're like, and meanwhile, this dude, we dubbed him Mr. Mustache, behind us at that table, he just looks like he wants us dead. We could just, you know, it's like you just keep looking over, he just shaking his head.
Does he actually make?
Yeah, his face is turning beet red and everything. And I'm just like, dude, what's up with Mr. Mustache back there? And he's like, I don't know, man. I think we should probably like leave. I don't feel like getting shot tonight. I'm like, yeah, agreed. And so we just threw money at the bar. We didn't even ask to close out or anything. We just threw money at the bar and walked out. And we're driving away and we're laughing and joking about just how funny and weird that was. And I'm like, man, that was just, what the fuck was that? You know, I'm like, man, what would happen if we stayed? Man, that would be some shit. And like, it's like, man, what's up with Mr. Mustache back there? It's like, oh, you know, and I'm like, oh, you know what's going to happen if we stayed though? Well, oh, wait, backtrack. So, sorry to get ahead of myself, but Steven was like, well, you know, the thing is, he's probably pissed off at you because like you're wearing a leather jacket, so he thinks that you're a biker, and we all know the long-standing rivalry that doesn't exist, you know, between bikers and cowboys. I'm like, yeah, and you're one by association.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Andy's wearing a suit.
Right. So fuck him, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, what would happen if we stayed? I'm like, oh, I got it. So you know what's gonna happen is we'd just be sitting there minding our own business, and Mr. Mustache is gonna come up and start poking me in the back. He's gonna be like, hey, and just his buddy's gonna be right there. He's like, what are you backer boys think you're doing? You think you're cool? Well, I'll show you cool. And then he's gonna like turn around to his buddy. He's like, boys, make the space. And they're just gonna like make this like makeshift dance floor, like moving some tables and chairs around and get into formation. You know, I'm like, you know what, Steven? You know, they're talking to Steven. You know what, man? You know what they're gonna do? They're just gonna start squatting. They have this weird like, they're just start doing squats. He's like, yeah, but you know, there's gonna be that fucking crazy guy in the back like, woo! I'm just like, yeah, this is exactly what would happen if we stayed. And thus Cowboy Squats was born.
And if any for real, like we'll also leave this link in the description. But everybody go check out this video because it's literally exactly how he described it. And Will also makes a cameo.
I do. Yeah.
But
the creepy cowboy.
but you have to follow our podcast on Instagram to see his face because I'm not going to tell you who it is in the video. So you just got to figure it out.
Yeah.
It might be the guy that looks like Johnny Depp, but I'm not going to let you know.
It might be the crazy guy just flailing around.
Right.
That happens. If that doesn't make you want to watch, I don't know what does.
Well, so as I told you, I get to a part in the show where I ask everybody a cool question, just about their creative process and what kind of insight they could give. But since you've had, and I know everybody has, especially like you said, your friend made the comment like, you know, this is the book people in hospitality have wanted to write.
Yeah.
But for people that, because, you know, people have crazy experiences.
Yeah.
And for all those who have crazy experiences and maybe want to write about it, or maybe they just want to write in general, like what could you say to maybe, you know, give them some insight on how just to get started doing it? I know it's as easy as just doing it.
Yeah, no, that's literally all I did.
But I mean, like, so what was kind of your process on that? Like after we decided to just do it, I mean, that's the thing, but.
So I had actually toyed with the idea for a long time, and I was working late, like as an overnight one night.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna fucking do it. I've got too many of these goddamn stories. I'm just gonna compile them, and I'm gonna write this fucking book. So I just pulled up like Google Documents and I started just writing these down. Uh-huh. Like I literally have no idea what I was doing. I still have no fucking clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna write these stories down. And I'm gonna compile them and get this published. Like I just did it, you know. Like the stories were already there. Like it wasn't like I'm making these up. Like that's why it was easy to just write it down because it already happened.
Yeah,
I just needed to
absolutely.
write it down, and so I just did it. I'm like, fuck it, the world needs to know.
Well, and what's crazy about that is though, like as easy as it sounds, you know, a lot of people. That's what blocks them because they don't like get started and they don't know how to just go, and it's literally just that simple.
Sure.
Like the overthinking and the procrastination is like the death of all artists. I mean, I struggle with
Right.
that all the time. But the fact that you were just like, you know what, I'm gonna write down these stories, and I mean that's a way to get started because you're not even really because people try to think ahead too much. They're like I want to write a book, but they're like oh shit, how am I gonna write a whole book? And I'm like, well, bro, just start writing something down. Like, just gotta start.
I mean,
you know, you're not gonna.
Yeah.
Like you're looking at it and you're like, bro, how are we gonna build this house overnight? This is crazy. You know, like it just doesn't work that way. You know, like you just gotta get started and go. And
you just need something like that. You need Ty Pennington for. You know, he just shows up with
We're gonna do this house in 6 days
without a shirt on and just like, move that bus. That's all you need. That's what happened. Yeah. God. But you know, like I said, I literally had no idea what I was doing. I still don't.
Yeah.
I just knew that this shit happened, and I just put it on paper, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It already happened. I just told the story. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of a fraud like that because I don't fucking know what I'm doing still.
Well, I mean, that's the thing though. Is like you don't know, but that's what makes you know about it. If that sounds stupid,
yeah.
But it's a sense of like you're just starting and you're just going, and that's how you're gonna do it. To some people, that's all they need, and that's But a lot of people don't know that. Like a lot of people think it's a crazy process, and they think kind of how people see like magic tricks, and but it's all it's sleight of hand and illusions.
Yeah.
But people don't like to think that hard. They're like they stop at whoa, that was amazing. That's impossible.
Yeah.
But they don't like look. But they don't look to see. But I mean, really, for everybody that's listening, it's really that it can be harder for whatever art form you're trying to do, but just start.
Yeah.
Like don't try to. Like you're looking at the end goal and not the process, because the process is what you learn from and what you do. Like everybody's looking at the prize, but they don't want to do what it takes to get to it.
Right.
So and honestly, the prize you start off wanting, when actually you go through the process, you're gonna end up with something completely different.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be like make the movie in your head, but make the movie of the process. Don't just because I mean, wouldn't movies suck if you just started the movie and it starts at the climax and then ending?
Oh, like a Tarantino film?
Yeah, right. But he does it from different angles.
I know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you have to do it smart, But some people, man, they'll just be like they'll be like, all right, I started and I'm not rich yet. What's going on?
Yeah.
They're like, and then some people get depressed over that too, and it's just like, whoa, relax and enjoy your process.
It's amazing how many people like also think that I'm a published author that equals millionaire. That's not at all the case.
No,
like book royalties are shit. I'm just gonna get that out of the way. Yes, I think everyone, if you have a book that you want to write, just do it. But please understand that you are gonna get paid shit money. Still do it, because no one else is gonna fucking do it, so you might as well. But yeah, the royalties are shit. I will.
So
say
is it
that.
mostly through? So would you recommend, if you had to go through it again, would you go through a publishing company, or would you like stay independent with it?
Well, I mean, I technically I did self-publish, but through a company that does that and like marketing for stuff. I mean,
like they do all the printing on your books,
printing and everything. But they take care of that, and I paid for some marketing.
You pay for your ISBN and stuff.
I have ISBN and my Library of Congress number. But that was honestly because unless I was getting a ton of no's from like traditional publishers, which is kind of the normal thing if no one's ever heard of you, is to get a no's from everybody. Actually, one traditional publisher I reached out to, I went on their website and they're like, are you complete with your book? If not, like your manuscript. If not, how long do you have? And I picked. It wasn't even that far out, but I picked like 7 months, to buy myself some time with these people just in case. And I just. I mean, send a quick little message like, "Hey, I'm new to all this. I just need to know the process and blah 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 blah." And so I get a reply back, and this lady from the publishing company was like, "Hey, can you tell me a little bit more about this?" And I was like, "Well, I'm about this far out from being done. Here's what it's about. I'm totally new to this. Any information you can give me would be great." And all she said back was, "Send this book to me in 2 days or forget about it." like in the most unprofessional way possible.
Yeah.
And so,
well, I mean, I gotta take the edge off, because it's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna throw it back then.
So I just replied and said, "Hey, I love you," and because I'm like, well, this is obviously a no from them too.
Yeah.
On top of everybody, all the other no's, I'm like, what, fuck it, I'll just pay and get it self-published and say fuck it. But now that I'm actually published,
which is rad, man. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of it's really cool nowadays. It's a cool era to be alive in the sense of doing things like this, because you can. Because I mean, it used to be like crazy, mad difficult to get any kind of anything published. But this is like a buddy of mine. We had him on episode. I forget which episode it is. Episode. Just look up Linton Lewis. My homie Linton Lewis. We had him on an episode talking about his book he wrote, and he was telling me about it. Whenever I first met him, he typed it on this like tablet he had, but he didn't have a keyboard, mouse, or anything, and it's like 85,000 words. And because when he was telling me, when we worked together, he was telling me, he was like, "Yeah, I wrote a book," and I was thinking like, "Oh, okay, cool," whatever. I didn't even know him well at the time. We weren't like homies yet, so I was like, "All right, whatever, dude." Wrote a book. Yeah. And then when we finally were really cool, I went to his house and he showed me the tablet he wrote it on, and it's like a Samsung tablet. Yeah. It's kind of got a small screen and like a small on-screen keyboard, and I looked and it said 85,000 words. And I was like, "Bro, this is like 200 pages." I was like, "What?" I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's like a fantasy fiction novel, and it's really cool."
Yeah.
Like I was like, man, that's right. He actually split it into 2 books because it was
awesome.
super long.
Yeah.
But he was just looking how to get published and didn't really know where to go. And then he was just like, I just published on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah, you can do that too.
And they were
yeah.
like, they're like, yep, they just want a certain percentage out of every sale.
Yeah.
But they throw it on the store. You can, and especially because they bought Kindle, like you
Yeah.
download it on Kindle. You
Yeah.
can get it on Fire Stick TV or whatever, and you can get it
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know who reads books on their TV, but some people do.
Yeah, I'm sure someone does.
Yeah.
Yeah. My book's also available in all 3 formats, like hardback, paperback, and ebook as well. And
Have you considered doing an audiobook?
okay, yeah, I should actually do that.
Just to read it, because if you read it with your delivery, it would be hilarious.
Well, I think it would be funny also, like just
Because you could act out the voices and everything.
I've considered even doing that and then like opening it up, like the first like few seconds, I'm just like turning pages and just like drinking coffee. Like, oh, I'm supposed to read this out loud, and
Yeah, add some skit to it. That'd be funny.
yeah.
And you could also do, like side notes and explain things, and if people want to read along and like,
Sure.
just do fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
Man, I think that'd be super rad. Well, I look forward to reading more of the book, man.
Yes.
We're gonna Stephanie,
She
you want to
hates
say what's up? Stephanie said the book was awful. How do you feel about it, Stephanie?
Actually, I've been reading it this whole time. It's really good.
It's really good.
Which is great because I had no fucking clue what I was doing when I was writing it.
So honestly, I think just because I know you, I know what your voice sounds like.
Yeah.
I kind of have your voice throughout the entire book while I'm reading it.
Good.
So it's making it even more comical
Good.
to me. Yeah, just because I can imagine you saying all of these things, and it makes complete sense that you were able to experience these things out of all the people in the world.
Do you have any favorite parts so far, or?
I mean, Gluten Lady was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, fuck that
But
lady.
I read the one about the guy who had just taken like some really strong something.
Oh
to sleep,
yeah.
And you guys thought he was.
We thought he was dead. Yeah.
So they called the police to the hotel. Get the manager there. They break the door. They break the security lock.
Yeah.
And then your coworker at the time, like, apparently broke down the door, went back downstairs.
Yeah,
and you guys asked, "Oh, did you do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got it open.
Yeah.
Came back here."
It's like.
It's like, well, my job is done.
Well, yeah, because like, okay, so we could get in the door, but like the security latch is still there, and this guy was totally unresponsive, and when he actually broke the security latch, he came back down. He's like, "You got in?" He's like, "Yeah, totally. Is he okay?" "Oh, I didn't go in. I just broke the latch."
Wait, the cop?
No, this is my coworker.
Oh,
Yeah,
The cops seemed they were.
yeah. One of them was okay. One of them was a total dick.
Yeah.
But
Or you literally get a case of good cop, bad cop?
yeah. But that cop was fat too. I just want to throw that out there. He's a fat fucking pig.
Probably like donuts.
He probably did. It's funny because he also had a civilian ride along with him too. I didn't include
kinda
that.
weird.
Yeah, they're just like, let's go see this dead guy. Yeah, but then
What is it? What does it stand by me? Like,
yeah, I know. Hey, you guys want to go poke a dead guy with a stick?
oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
So it's over across train tracks.
All right. yeah, like, oh god, the stories. Like one of them I'm just gonna tell a little story that's not included in this book. So this is a little treat for all your listeners. So they have to subscribe, I guess, or whatever the fuck gets you to listen to this shit. So, so there was, it was a February.
Some February.
It was cold, not that cold though.
February.
Like February, and it was 3-ish in the morning, and this drunk chick, like, she's yelling at me because the hot tub is closed. Like, yeah, it closed at 11. And she's like, "Why went in there? Fuck yeah!" And I'm like, "Well, it's gonna be open up bright and early for you at 6 in the morning. Why don't you go sleep one off and you can go hop right in?" And she's just yelling. Yeah, fuck you! You have to open it up for me. And, you have to give me a free night. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not happening. Go back to your room.
It was a free night because the
yeah,
hot tub's on.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Because 3 a.m.
yeah, and then
wasted.
she's from Canada too. I want to throw that out there.
wow.
So she was saying, "How come you're charging me like this much money? But I've stayed at these fucking hotels up in Canada and they charge this much money." Well, you see, it's called free enterprise.
And
we could
you crossed the border.
And you're also in a different country. It's like, no, that's not how this works. I'm like, actually, it's literally how this works. And she's like, I'm gonna say fuck you. You can't. I'm like, I just kept telling her over and over again, just go back to your room. I'm like, I don't want to fucking deal with
My
this.
question is, how drunk does a Canadian have to be impolite?
I'm gonna guess pretty drunk because they're normally very polite. But she just kept escalating and escalating it. And I just kept saying, you need to go back to your room or I'm calling the police. Like it was getting to that point. She just kept like, she's throwing shit. Then she tried to throwing scissors at me. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to call the cops and they can just remove you because you're no longer welcome here. Checkouts come early. And she's like, go ahead, fucking call them. I'm already on the phone.
Wait, did you actually get to throw in a clever tagline like that?
Yeah.
You're like, checkout is early.
Yeah, I did. And so she's making this such a huge scene. People are like opening up their doors and like, look what's happening. One of our regulars came down and got something from the vending machines, like sitting in the dark breakfast bar, just eating these chips and watching this. and so the police show up and they just say, hey, we got the call. You've got to leave. And she's like, I don't have to go fucking anywhere. She's trying to argue with the police, and it was this whole thing like, hey, look, you can't be here. They're kicking you out. You're not welcome here. We'll help you get your stuff, but you've got to leave. There's a hotel right next door. You can go there, but you cannot be on this property. And you come back, you will be arrested. This is the long and short of it. And she was saying how like I'm evil and horrible and stuff, and like I'm a piece of shit. It's like, well, yeah, whatever. So there's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, you need to leave. Yeah. And she's saying how she's gonna sue everybody, and and the police are like, yeah, that sounds great. You need to leave though. Let's get your stuff.
It's like, well, we'll talk about all that, but
yeah. First things first, you need to get your stuff because you're not welcome here anymore. And she's like, you can't kick me out at 3 a.m. Like actually they can. This is private property, and they no longer want you here.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah, and she was saying how like I'm not allowed to charge her for this. Like, no, I'm absolutely charging you. You made me call the police. I'm absolutely charging you.
Did the police charge for coming out?
No, the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, not the police.
I just never knew because first responders, like when they send first response and you get the cop, the ambulance, and the
right,
and just it's funny with first response when I broke my collarbone.
Yeah.
And this is just a kid breaking his collarbone at the skate park. They brought out a fire truck.
Yeah.
2 cop cars.
Yeah.
And an ambulance.
Well, yeah.
What the hell? Like it's a skate park and a kid broke his bone. Why does that need everybody?
Because reasons.
There's no fire. There's no. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, so this drunk chick went to the hotel next door. Well, I come to find out the next day from other members of her party was that she actually, so after she saw the police drive away, she walked back over and got in her car. Keep in mind, she's still heavily intoxicated, and she decides she's going to drive home. So she starts driving and hits another car, then gets out and assaults the driver of this car that she just hit. So she got a DUI and an assault charge.
Oh, jeez.
And reckless driving now, too. And so she goes to jail for the night. And then the next day, like, she doesn't go to court. She just takes out and goes to Canada. So now she can't come back to the country anyway. So, yeah, like, but she's still fucking calling and, like, saying how she's going to sue and everything. It's like that. My boss was like trying to tell her, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Like, we are well within our legal rights. And by the way, you live in Canada.
Yeah, so it's not going to work.
Yeah, she's like, well, I'm a lawyer. And he's like, well, good. That might help you with that DUI you just got. And she's like, well, I'm going to sue you. I'm an officer of the court. Like, yeah, but you're not an officer of the court here.
Yeah. It's like that when it's a different thing. There's no jurisdiction.
Yeah.
That's can't do anything.
Yeah. But I'm willing to bet money, like quite a bit of money, that she wasn't a lawyer anyway. I'm willing to bet. Because she would understand.
That's the thing.
She cannot, especially now that she has a DUI, which is actually a felony in Canada too.
Wow.
Yeah, it is, and yeah, even if you get it here, it is a felony in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, so she can never come back to this country because she skipped her court date.
Yeah, for probably months and years at this point.
Yeah, years at this point. And so where was I going with this? Yeah, she was fucking stupid. But yeah, like stuff like that would just happen, and I just got so used to just like, okay, here we go, whatever.
So now, I guess that's why you're so quick to be able to just like take on ridiculous and dumb situations.
Yeah.
Like, man, like the. Dude, I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even think we can bring up that prank call at work that one time.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if my grandmother would love to hear it because grandma, this is this. Yeah, we don't have to bring it up.
No.
But for those that don't know, Will is fantastic at on the spot freestyle, like pranking telemarketers. I call him. Because nowadays people get so many telemarketers, you don't have to prank call numbers anymore. You can just wait for someone to.
Yeah.
They can just wait for someone to hit you up because they're just asking for it. Honestly,
we had that one that called me today, then hung up on me after I responded.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? I mean,
No.
Okay. I don't know what your grandma's like.
Well, you were there. That all he said on this one, he was just like, well, "What a great day it is to be black and sexy."
Yeah, she asked me how I was, and I said, "Well, let me tell you what, it is a good day to be black and sexy." And this chick just hung up on me.
Well, man, do you have any places we can catch you online where people can catch you? Everything's gonna be in the description, but if you verbally say it helps.
Sure. I mean, you can get my book, Misadventures in Hospitality, on any major bookseller online. You can always go to Amazon because quick shipping. Let's see, I'm also on Facebook, Instagram. You can also like Misadventures in Hospitality on Instagram. Check out the YouTube channel and YouTube video of Cowboy Squats. Please subscribe. And soon I am hoping to have my own little channel separate from that too. And I just do weird shit, like I just do every day.
Because why not?
Right, exactly. And yes, please get a hold of me. I will chat with all of you. You may all be very disappointed, but I will chat with you happily.
Wonderful. All right, man. Well, it was great having you on the show, man.
Thank you.
And we appreciate it.
I know.
All right. All right, y'all. Artists of Depth Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe. Click the little bell button to get notifications whenever new episodes are posted. Hit us up on the social medias at Artists in Depth. And stay creative and making cool shit, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. We're out. You've been listening to the Artists in Depth Podcast, motivating creative minds through artistic exploration. If you like what you're hearing, please be sure to give us a rating or a positive review. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can email us at vonpatrickarts@gmail.com. That is VONPATRICK@gmail.com. Thank you very much, and we look forward to talking to you.